This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Residents will soon say goodbye to the Lloydminster Business Improvement District. The organization will dissolve by the end of the calendar year. However, the decision is being made to bring greater change to downtown in the future. Josh Ryan has more.
Last week, BID membership voted overwhelmingly to dissolve the current board structure of their organization, one that's been part of Lloydminster since 1989.
We don't feel we're being as responsible as possible with the tax money that we are responsible for. We believe we can use it much more efficiently by partnering with the city.
Issues with funding was the primary concern and a roadblock to enacting meaningful change.
3 budget items alone take up 77% of our budget, and the biggest one of that is administration costs.
Now, control passes to the City of Lloydminster, who already have the downtown revitalization project.
Once we started talking to city admin about what they were doing, we realized that it was probably a much better decision to partner with the DARP rather than do our own separate projects.
In the coming weeks, board members will work with administration in structuring an advisory committee, which will be open to those who want to play an active role in the future of downtown.
Property owners and business owners are going to be able to put their name forward to be on the advisory committee to the downtown area revitalization plan. So there is definitely still an opportunity for the downtown community to have a voice to administration.
And while the change is bittersweet, there's excitement about what it could bring.
This is a chance for change, and it's a chance for us to see some real lasting change downtown.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
The SPCA is seeing some change as they are welcoming a new president for their operation. Ryan Craig has more.
The SPCA is usually known for its change revolving around their furry residents coming and going. This time around, there's some turnover within the board.
I started on the board in 2010 just as a board of director, and then I moved into the secretary position after a couple years, and then the past 2 years I've been the president.
Last week, Bell was subbed out of the president's role and was replaced by a familiar face around the SPCA.
I've been on the board for 5 years and been volunteering for since 2007. So it's nothing new, really. It's just been kind of surprising that I'm actually taking the role on, but no, it's looking forward to going forward.
Time as acting president can be a lot of work, but like a lot of things around the SPCA, it can be very rewarding.
My time on the board has been very meaningful. I've learned a lot. I used to be one of those people that couldn't even come to the shelter because it was, just one of those sad things to see the animals. So I've learned a lot that it's, actually a good place for them.
Only a week into the title, Anderson does not have any new plans for the SPCA quite yet, but does know the ins and outs on how an organization like this works.
To continue working strongly with the City of Lloydminster and surrounding communities. That's very important for this organization. Just continue with working with John, and he's doing a great job.
I'm really confident as the new president of the SPCA. We've worked together in the past on Canine Action Project's board of directors, and also with John heading us up as the executive director. He's leading the way and taking us to new and great places.
Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
It's no secret Lloydminster has historically been an oil city, with its real estate market closely tied to the commodity's success. We see in this week's edition of Retrospect how the boom and bust has affected the border city and what the future may hold.
$1998 is proving to be much less hectic for local realtors. Estimates have sales down between 30% and 40%, but professionals say that's no cause for concern.
The new construction this year has stayed strong, even this spring, when we said that things have been a little bit lower than last year. But if the new construction starts were down, then I'd be worrying, but new construction is really wheeling along.
Lloydminster's always been a volatile market. People are concerned about their jobs.
After 1998, the real estate market in Lloydminster was strong until the price of oil dropped.
It's gone down to the bottom and then has come off the bottom a bit, but it has been, the last 3 years is considered the worst in the last 20 years.
Optimism has begun to creep back into the border city's commercial real estate as companies begin to cautiously spend more in the area.
There was 2 million square feet of commercial. That's come down, I think, 25%. So it's some of the big stuff has now rented, which is a good sign for the economy in the future.
The border city has also changed since 1998, becoming more of a regional service center.
I think the ups and downs get erased a bit because a service center doesn't take those hits that just an oil town does. So I think we're better in shape because of that too.
Palmer says in the next 5 years, Lloydminster won't have a booming market, but it will be healthy. That's all for Retrospect.
This is Newcap Sports.
With hockey season over for all but 4 AJHL teams, it's time to reflect on what worked and what didn't during the 2016-17 season. For the Bonnyville Pontiacs, one takeaway is the quality performance of some of the team's rookies. In the league also took notice, naming 2 of Bonnyville's first-year players to the Viterra North Division All-Rookie team. Here's Lance Phillips and Josh Ryan to tell you who they are.
Thanks very much, Lance. A season to forget for the Bonnyville Pontiacs, many would say.
Yes.
Certainly their 2017-2018 season did not live up to expectations, but there were a few bright spots rather to talk about, and one of which was Lucas Thorne, one of 2 Pontiacs players that made the All-Rookie North team in the AJHL. 2 of 6 guys, so pretty impressive season from Thorne.
Yeah, he's a great little player, and he's a kid from Dunnville, Ontario, who is their leading scorer. What I really like about this kid's game is he's fast. He's fast on the ice. He makes plays happen. He was teamed up with Bobby Young and Adam Panacci, who came later in the year, and provided one of the fastest lines in the AJHL North, not only on the Bonnyville Pontiacs. He played for St. Andrews College in Ontario, which is a very well-known boarding school. He was a high-end player there. So this is a kid that they can really build this team around going forward. He's 19 years old. They can keep him in the system for another year or 2. He could provide them with a lot of scoring, almost Derek Brown-esque, who was traded away late in the year.
Absolutely. Another youngster they're looking to rely on heavily next year is Kirby Proctor, only 16 years old. What do they have in this kid?
This is a really strong defensive kid. He's already being scouted by NCAA schools, so I'm not sure how long the Pontiacs will be able to keep him on their roster. But he has tremendous vision of the ice. When he gets the puck on his stick, he can see plays develop long before they've even developed. And if, as I mentioned, if they can keep him around, another good young player that they can build around.
And several new players on the roster as well. They went to quick work after the season, 8 late season trades, really revamping the roster.
Yeah, well, they traded some players away, and the main guy that they moved was Derek Brown. Once they moved PJ Morocco to Chilliwack, Derek Brown requested a trade, and he was moved as well. Now, being a high-end player that he is, the Pontiacs got a lot in return. They moved him, and they moved a couple of other players, so they will get 8 players that will be on their 2018-2019 roster that are very high-quality players. So that complemented with their young roster of players that developed well over the course of the year means that this team in 2018-2019 will be a force.
Absolutely, and looking to bounce back from a disappointing finish this past season as 7th in the AJHL North.
This is Newcap weather with Gerard Lampa.
So lots of sunshine and blue skies available to us. The only thing that will help out temperature-wise, well, we're well off of the seasonal averages, about 12 degrees if you count today in there. And certainly on the weekend, we were in double minuses with the wind chills closer to the minus 30 mark there. So this is what we're dealing with because of that Arctic high and the cold air that it's deposited on the prairies. It's keeping those areas of precipitation out of the region, mind you. So going forward, it's just a mix of sun and cloud, at least for the next 24 hours, what we're dealing with there. So even tomorrow morning with that cold air clearing out the skies there, some parts of Saskatchewan again in for another cold start to the day. Temperature-wise, though, as the afternoon goes along, we'll get back to where we are at the moment there. -6s, -5s, maybe -3, the best of the bunch there for Pierceland, -4 to Bonnyville, Lac-La-Biche areas, -5 around Provost and Macklin areas too, and -6 out to Isle of Cross, -4 at Green Lake, -5 at Meadow Lake, -7 in St. Walburg, Maidstone, and the Battlefords area. So single minuses, better than the double minuses, certainly. Across the country now, 9, a mix of sun and cloud in Vancouver, -4 in Whitehorse, -3, mainly sunny skies in Edmonton, and that includes, of course, downtown and the international airport, -8 in Regina, -14 out to Yellowknife there for a mix of sun and cloud at this hour. To Winnipeg now, mainly sunny skies, -12. And you can see the shade of the map there indicating where the warmer areas are, and these purple areas here, just the colder air dominating. +4 in Toronto, overcast skies, -1 in Quebec, -1 as well in Halifax, and cloudy in St. John's. They're sitting on the freezer at 0, and snow showers in Iqaluit for their -4. So let's come on back to the prairies then, -5 and still sunny in the Battlefords and area, Unity, Maidstone, St. Walburg areas there, but -20s on the cards in the early hours of tomorrow morning, and with 15k winds there, it'll certainly feel closer to -30, which is similar to what you saw this morning, -19, feeling like -27, -28 or thereabouts, and appreciating to -7 during the course of the afternoon. The winds largely west and northwest are averaging around 5, 7, 11 kilometers per hour. -3 at the moment in Cold Lake, parts of the Lakeland, inclusive of Bonnyville, St. Paul, and Lac La Biche areas there. -15 towards the early hours of the morning, and looking for -5 as the afternoon progresses. We're at -5 at the moment here in the Midwest, -18 overnight towards the early hours of the morning there. 15k winds will put some wind chill on that, closer to the -25, 28 mark thereabouts in the morning, and then -6 at best during the course of the afternoon. So well off of the seasonal averages today. 12 degrees off for our daytime high of -5. That we should be at +7, and the overnight lows not helping out either. We should be at -4 towards the early hours of the morning, and you can see we're stuck in those double minuses. 60% chance of seeing some light snowfall on Sunday for -5, and then -1 next Monday seems like a welcome improvement. So honestly, we've got another 7 to 10 days before we see meaningful improvement out of this. Brian, back to you for Agriculture News.